In every economic collapse, there's a strange pattern. Banks close their doors, currencies change their names, governments promise stability, and suddenly, the quietest shops on the street are the gold dealers. Not because gold creates food, not because you can pay rent with it, but because when systems break,
It's all coming
gold
apart.
reveals what money
The money,
really
it's
is
worthless.
and what it never
The
was.
whole system is
Today,
collapsing.
we're not talking about gold as an investment tip. We're talking about gold's real job during economic collapse. The job nobody advertises. The job that only becomes visible when everything else fails. Welcome to Finance Timekeeper. Right now, the world is drowning in numbers that don't feel real anymore. Trillions printed, debts rolled over, interest rates pulled up then pushed back down. On paper, everything still works. In reality, people are quietly asking an old question again. What actually holds value if this breaks? To answer that, we have to strip gold of its myths. No ads, no Instagram reels, no doomsday fantasies, just the mechanism. Imagine you live in Germany in 1923. You're not poor, you have savings, you did everything right. One morning, bread costs 250 marks. By evening, it costs 500. A week later, prices double between breakfast and lunch. People bring wheelbarrows of cash to buy groceries, not because they're rich, because money is evaporating in real time. Here's the uncomfortable part. Gold didn't go up in price. Money went down. That difference matters more than people realize. Money is a promise, a social agreement, a piece of paper that says this will be accepted tomorrow. That promise is backed by trust. Trust in the government, trust in tax systems, trust that someone else will accept it later. Gold doesn't run on trust. It never did. Gold doesn't promise anything. It just exists. That's its first real function during collapse. It doesn't perform. It doesn't grow. It doesn't save you. It simply refuses to disappear. In a stable economy, this looks useless. Stocks outperform. Businesses compound. Cash flows. Gold just sits there, doing nothing, looking lazy. Then the system bends. First, governments borrow more. Then central banks lower rates to keep things moving. Then printing becomes policy, not emergency. At this stage, gold still looks boring. But now comes the hidden math. Every currency collapse in history follows the same equation. Too much debt, not enough real growth, so money is diluted to cover the gap. Dilution is polite inflation. Collapse is when dilution accelerates faster than trust. Gold reacts to trust breaking, not to inflation headlines. That's why gold often moves before people understand why. Ironically, when gold prices spike, experts go on TV and call it speculation. When currencies fail, they call it unexpected. One of these happens every few decades. The other happens every time. Gold has three real jobs during economic collapse. First, it freezes purchasing power, not increases it, freezes it. If a currency loses 90% of its value, gold doesn't make you rich, it just stops you from becoming poor at the same speed as everyone else. That's not exciting, that's survival math. Second, it becomes a bridge currency. During collapse, people don't trust local money, they don't trust banks, they don't trust IOUs. Gold becomes the temporary language between broken systems. Not forever, just long enough. Third, it exposes lies. When gold explodes in local currency terms, it's not gold speaking, it's the currency confessing. And quick pause, not a pitch, just context. If you're still watching, you're probably not here for hype. You're here because you want to understand how money actually works when the headlines stop making sense. That's the entire idea behind Finance Timekeeper. We don't sell trades, we don't chase panic, we break systems down calmly, piece by piece. If that perspective is useful, you can subscribe. Now let's keep going. This is where the story shifts. Here's the hype version. Buy gold. When the system collapses, you'll be rich. That's fantasy. Here's the reality. If the system truly collapses, being rich is irrelevant. What matters is continuity. Gold doesn't help you win, it helps you remain. Let's jump to 1971. The United States ends the gold standard. From that moment, money becomes fully elastic, unlimited in theory, managed by policy. This works incredibly well, until it doesn't. Since 1971, global debt has grown faster than global output, every decade, without exception. Gold didn't stop this. Gold didn't warn loudly. It just waited. Gold is patient because it doesn't need growth. It doesn't owe anyone returns. It doesn't care about quarterly numbers. That's why it looks stupid in booms and suddenly intelligent in ruins. During collapses, people ask strange questions. Can you eat gold? No. But can you eat currency? Also no. Yet one of them still trades after trust dies. Here's the bigger implication most people miss. Gold isn't protection against collapse, it's protection against forced participation. During collapse, governments change rules fast. Capital controls, withdrawal limits, currency swaps. Gold sits outside these levers, not invisible, just harder to manipulate. That's why states both fear it and hoard it. Central banks officially call gold a legacy asset, then quietly keep thousands of tons of it. That contradiction tells you everything. Gold is obsolete until credibility is questioned. Now imagine a modern collapse, digital money, instant freezes, algorithmic limits. Gold suddenly looks primitive, which is exactly why it works. No login, no server, no update, just wait. This is not an argument to bet everything on gold. That's another kind of collapse. Gold doesn't replace systems, it waits between them. And if you want more explanations like this, not predictions, not panic, just calm breakdowns of how money, power, and trust actually work, that's what we do here at Finance Timekeeper. You can subscribe if you want to keep thinking long term. Because the next part isn't about gold, it's about what comes after people stop trusting money entirely. Every collapse eventually ends. New currencies appear. New promises are made. New trust cycles begin. At that moment, gold retreats again, back into boredom, and people laugh at those who held it, until the next time. So the real question isn't whether gold will save you. The real question is this: when trust breaks faster than systems can adapt, what do you want your wealth tied to? A promise or an object that never made one?